Stocks to Buy series is your favorite series on this channel when looking at the views number. I talk here about companies which are worth a closer look. So what are interesting stocks to buy in November 2020? The study by the freelance platform Upwork and the Freelancers Union analyzed the trends in the freelance economy. Freelancers usually earn money on a per-job basis instead of a typical permanent employment option. The finding of this analysis is that the majority of the US workforce will be freelancers by 2027. Of course, we do not know if that happens, but the trend is clear. More and more people work as freelancers. One company which is riding on this trend is Fiverr. As investors, we can benefit from the role of freelancers in the future of work and invest in the growth of the gig economy through investing in Fiverr or Upwork. In this video, I will talk about Fiverr company and its competitors. I will also tell you if I invested my money in Fiverr stock. Then I will talk about my other two investments related to the future of payments. Fiverr is an online marketplace for freelance services. The company provides a platform for freelancers to offer services to customers worldwide. Its business model is similar to other marketplaces like Amazon or Etsy. Online marketplaces make most of their revenues through transaction fees and service fees that are based on the transactions on the platform. In the beginning, all jobs on Fiverr were priced at $5. It corresponds with their branding, but now they have expanded the range of prices available, so not only small gigs are available to be offered. So how does the typical job marketplace work? The example of such a company is Upwork. On Upwork, you post a job to attract freelancers. Then, as the employer, you have to filter through the replies from freelancers and finally select the person for doing the work. Upwork appears to be attractive to large employers involved in large projects, but Fiverr co-founders wanted to simplify this process. Fiverr does it differently. They had in mind that it should be much easier for a business person to employ people for digital tasks. And if you like the transition to the digital economy, smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It will help this channel to grow and you will get this like from me. Here's what they have written in the prospectus submitted to the Securities and Exchange Commission when filing for an IPO. We started with the simple idea that people should be able to buy and sell digital services in the same fashion as physical goods on an e-commerce platform. On that basis, we set out to design a digital marketplace that is built with a comprehensive stock-keeping unit-like services catalog and an efficient search, find and order process that mirrors a typical e-commerce transaction. On Fiverr, freelancers advertise their skills and specify the jobs they want to take on. Employers can search through these offers and decide who to hire and for what the specific task. This process makes Fiverr more attractive for freelancers and small businesses. Tasks vary from web design, graphic production, logo design, video editing, blog post writing, and many more. Fiverr connects businesses with freelancers offering digital services in 300 plus categories. Fiverr simplifies the whole process, which is a good thing for both sides of the transaction, as it saves plenty of time needed for writing the job offer, preparing applications by interested freelancers, waiting for job applications to arrive, filtering through applications received, and interviewing. Making this whole process more straightforward is a brilliant solution for small and urgent jobs, which has to be done. Freelancers can work on this task from whatever place they want and in their own scheduled time. They advertise the delivery time in their offer description. So what is the position of Fiverr versus Upwork in terms of interest? Here you can see the search for Fiverr and the main competitor Upwork. For me, it seems obvious which company is taking the lead in terms of freelancing websites. Growth of Fiverr company is accelerating. As people adjust to working from home, such gig jobs will be more popular. But wait, some of you might think, who would like such a job instead of permanent employment? Well, half of the Generation Z workforce, so age 18 to 22, have freelanced in the past year. That is the perfect way to start earning money while studying. Also, more than a third of the United States workforce performed freelance work in the past year. Having a gig job is also a solution for parents taking care of their kids and having a few spare hours to stay in their working field. Also, if you want to work in your own time and you do not want to be bound to a particular place, Fiverr gives you such options. Let's talk about money. The last earnings report showed that the company is meeting the expectations of investors. Revenue in the third quarter of 2020 was $52.3 million. It was an increase of 88% in comparison with quarter last year. Another very positive news from the last report is the increase of the full year 2020 guidance. The management expects that Fiverr will achieve $186 to $187 million in sales. What I really like about this company is its gross margin. It is widespread for all my investments to have a significant high gross margin. Internet companies can easily scale without spending additional money, and the effect of that is that the company experienced an expansion in profit margins in the last quarter. As you can see, Fiverr's gross profit margins reached over 84%. The growth of revenue is not driven only by more spending of the current buyers, but also by increasing the number of active buyers. This number reached 3.1 million. That is very positive information as it means their marketing efforts work. In terms of new functionalities, Fiverr launched Fiverr Business in September this year. It enables teams to collaborate and work on team projects. Apart from focusing on bringing new buyers to the platform, Fiverr focuses on expanding its catalog of gig works. The company has also recently launched its sixth non-English website in Portuguese, allowing it to expand its country presence into Portugal and Brazil. Fiverr also added a local payment solution provider in Brazil, so the experience for users is as smooth as possible. In terms of market capitalization, the company is currently worth only $6.6 billion. Here you can see a comparison of Fiverr and Upwork. The important numbers are revenue growth and price to sales, and gross margin is on a very high level for both companies. As Fiverr is growing much quicker, it deserves a higher price to sales ratio. But Upwork does not seem to be the right company to compare Fiverr to. Its growth of revenue is less than a third of how quick Fiverr is growing. Let's add some more names for this comparison. I have added e-commerce platforms and telehealth platform provider. These companies' growth numbers are in a range of 67 to 134% in comparison with the previous 12-month period. But only Shopify, Teladoc, and Etsy are characterized with similar growth of revenue and gross margin. Fiverr's price to sales multiple is in line with Shopify and Teladoc, whereas Etsy's price to sales ratio is on a much lower level. Looking at just these numbers, it looks like Etsy is not getting enough attention from investors. Or there is another reason for the lower relative valuation multiples for this company. And I will have to look closer at this specific company. So subscribe if you want to see my analysis of Etsy company. There are many risks related to buying such small companies. It is a young company which is still not profitable. With such companies, you have to be aware of the increased volatility. Fiverr is currently the leader of the freelance platforms, but there is a risk of its main competitor, Upwork, replicating the functionality of Fiverr. That is why I have a very small position in Fiverr stock. Fiverr is a very high growth company which develops a digital marketplace between employers and freelancers. As it is a new area of the economy, it cannot be considered safe. So bear that in mind if you think of putting your money on this company. For me, the majority of my portfolio consists of well-established growth companies which are the center of the current economy. But I also invest some money in less certain but very high growth ideas. It is not the only one high-risk, high-reward stock in my portfolio. Here you can see my stock market portfolio of over $400,000. I first bought shares of Fiverr in October this year. Yesterday, I added even more during the unreasonable reaction of the market after the announcement of an effective coronavirus vaccine, which can prevent more than 90% of people from getting COVID-19. If you want to be notified about my transactions in real time, check the link in the description of this video. For me, the vaccine does not change the long-term fundamentals of transformation to the digital economy. The world is not coming back to how it was at the beginning of this year. People will not stop using e-commerce platforms for shopping or freelance platforms. They have already realized that such solutions are much more convenient for its users. Lockdowns have just accelerated this inevitable transition. The current technology developments allow us to work differently, do shopping differently, and consume entertainment differently. So if you think we will come back to work from offices in the same way as before, you might be surprised. Many companies will work from home permanently. Many of you will no longer visit a cinema or travel by plane for a business meeting. The technology gives us options to avoid things we do not enjoy. Do you really think that spending a few hours on a plane for a 2 hour business meeting makes sense? Let me know what your thoughts are about it. I am interested to know what your perspective is. The freelance market is growing fast, driven by demand for more flexible ways of working from employers and employees. The trend of the economy moving online will benefit Fiverr. Also, the shift to remote work will support the growth thesis of Fiverr. Do you think it is a company you would want to invest in? Let me know in the comment section below. PayPal and Square are companies which benefited from the e-commerce boom and people reducing using cash. I thought that Square, with its Cash App, would cause significant disruption for PayPal, but there is one problem with Square expansion. It is not integrated on many websites, as is the case for PayPal. Square Cash App is a brilliant solution to pay and make transfers between users in the United States, but it's not yet handy for online payments in many services and on many websites. PayPal has a clear advantage here. Also, Square's solution does not have too much of an international presence yet. For comparison, PayPal is used all around the world. For me, investment in PayPal shares was a typical buy and hold story. I bought shares of PayPal more than 2 years ago in August 2018. Since then, shares appreciated more than 120%. This screenshot shows 116% because it shows gains in British currency, not in American dollars. What I like about PayPal is that their method of payment is established almost everywhere on the internet. I do not have to remember which debit card to use. I have a few currency accounts connected in PayPal, so I can always use it for payments in whatever currency I want to pay. Of course, there are risks for PayPal expansion. The main risk is that technology giants are going to introduce some form of payment which will make PayPal no longer such a great idea. Currently, PayPal payments are the best method if you want to pay for services in different countries. As an example, I use PayPal for paying for video editing of my YouTube channel to people from abroad. Let's talk about third quarter earnings. PayPal's year-over-year total payment volume rose by 36%, which is more than the increase in the payment volume from the second quarter. The growth of the payment volume was equal to only 30% in the second quarter of 2020. Profit numbers are even more impressive. Year-over-year, profits more than doubled. What else? Yes, in third quarter 2020, PayPal added over 15 million new accounts. It shows that the movement from cash to electronic payments is still ongoing and accelerating. The total number of active accounts is now 361 million, which is a staggering number. All these numbers seem to be great, right? Surprisingly, PayPal stock declined after the earnings were released. I think that the decline of the PayPal stock price after the earnings for the third quarter was the effect of less impressive guidance for the next quarter. In my opinion, PayPal management wants to play it safe and do not overstretch the expectations. What about the future of PayPal? First great idea was the introduction of the buy now, pay later option. It is an incredibly wise idea when more people buy things online. PayPal is also preparing to launch a new service which will enable users to buy, hold and sell cryptocurrencies. It is the functionality which Square Cash App users have had for some time, and it was a user growth driver for Cash App. I am happy to hold PayPal stock in my portfolio. With PayPal's move to the area of cryptocurrencies and its continued international expansion, the company will play an essential role in the payment systems around the world. But I also own shares of its main competitor. I own Square stock too, but it is a smaller exposure. I'm not convinced that Square will be able to expand its international and website presence similarly to PayPal. You are awesome that you watched this video till the end. I have something extra for you. If you want to take your financial future in your hands, I compiled a list of 14 disruptive companies which are worth looking at in more detail. Identifying the main trends is where you can make significant profits. I analyzed 4 trends which might allow you to make good returns from the transformation of the economy. I also gave you examples of companies benefiting from these trends. I can see a significant probability of at least doubling the market capitalization of these companies in 3 to 5 years. I shared with you my choices for stocks to buy in November 2020. But remember not to listen to bloggers and vloggers. Always do your research and have conviction why you buy shares of the specific company. Let me know in the comment section below what stocks you are buying in November 2020 and what companies do you have on your observation list. I respond to every comment. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and click the bell to receive a notification about a new video being published. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy investing!